All right, half the people who watch this video is going to be very upset at what I have to say. And what I'm going to start with is by saying that it is November 4th, a day before the election, and the election results, it's over. It's already done. Unfortunately for half the country, Donald Trump is going to win tomorrow. And fortunately for the other half, Donald Trump's going to win tomorrow, right? You can't make everyone happy. But what am I saying, or why am I so confident in this? Well, obviously, everyone knows that there's a bunch of polls, right? Everyone takes a ton of polls out there. And I'm going to make this video very, very short, mainly because the website's actually down that I'm going to break down the numbers. But you can easily tell that it's everything going in Donald Trump's direction. And when I'm showing you these numbers, know that they don't poll Donald Trump properly. Donald Trump tends to get 2 or 3 percentage points better than the polling. So everything that I show you, you can expect, like in 2016 and in 2020, Donald Trump did 2 to 3 or 4 points better than what most polls had him at. So let's go ahead and take a look at the website. It's called Real Clear Politics. If you go to Real Clear Politics, it talks about the national poll, Trump Harris. Everyone's going to say too close to call, right? That's like the you get out of jail free card by saying too close to call. But is it though? Is it? Why am I suggesting that it's not too close to call? Because we only have to worry about 7 states. 7 states are going to decide this election. And let's take a look at those 7 states. So you go to Real Clear Politics polling. Well, let me state that this website, Real Clear Politics, what it does is it takes all the polls and combines them together to come up with an average. Okay, so some polls will say Harris is up big, some polls will say Trump is up big or small or whatever. They take it and they average it all out so that you can get a realistic look at what's probably going to happen. Okay, so back to the website. Now, again, parts of this website is not working. It was working yesterday when I was doing the research, but it is not working today. But we'll go with what is working. All right, these are the top 7 battlegrounds: Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. And let me just help save this and let you guys know, whoever wins Pennsylvania, that's who's going to win the election. There's not enough there. If Trump gets Pennsylvania, it's going to be too hard for Harris to recover. Now, if Harris gets Pennsylvania, Trump could still realistically win it to get to 270, but it's hard when Pennsylvania goes Democratic. So does Wisconsin typically, and so does Michigan. So here are the top battleground states. You got Trump 2.5, Trump 1, Harris 0.4, Harris 1.2, Trump 3, 0.3, 1.5, 1.9. It looks like all these are going Trump. Now, what I wanted to do was get in here and actually show you guys the numbers of the polls, but for some reason, none of these are working. So I can't. But just let me tell you that these 2 polls right here, Wisconsin and Michigan, there are 2 bad polling, because some people don't do very good in the polls, right? You get rated horribly, and there are 2 polling companies that were rated horribly, having Kamala Harris up like 4 or 5, which drove it for +4 for Harris or 1.2 for Harris. If those polls weren't in there, these would also too be red. All right. Now, here's another huge thing. Kamala is technically an incumbent, even though she's not the president. She is a vice president. And this is what's going to decide it. Direction of the country. Wrong track. Right? Of course, President Biden can have a bad job approval, a disapprove of 16.1%. That's fine. Because Kamala could, let's say, have just better and fresh ideas. So you can separate the 2. But when you're saying the country's on the wrong track, Kamala helped build that track. Or the perception is Kamala helped build that track. We know vice presidents don't do much. I know that they got Kamala for the border, but other than that, you don't expect a vice president doing much. But they're on that track, the same railroad track. So where Joe could be boring and slow and whatever people want to call him, Kamala could come in and bring that fresh, new charisma to the presidency. So disapproval for Joe Biden, that's bad for Kamala, but not, you can overcome that. But when you're on the same railroad track and you're still talking about mostly the same positions, and when the press asks you what would you do differently, and you say you can't think of anything you do differently. Well, now you're on that wrong track. So that's tough. So not only do you have Trump up in all but two of the battleground states, knowing that Trump typically polls 2 to 3% percentage points better than what they have him, if that happens, Trump's going to do a landslide and win all 7 battleground states. But you could probably expect at least 5 of the 7. And then these are just polls, right? I mean, they're educated guesses, but another huge educated guess. Let's go to president betting odds, where people are actually putting their money. Now, everyone loves to go to Polymarket. Polymarket is like the most popular one for betting. But nevertheless, 56% of people are betting that Trump is going to win, and 43% of people are betting that Harris is going to win. Okay, so you come down here and you take a look at the betting odds. Again, you got Trump up, 13.1%. But you know what's interesting is earlier in the year, you have Biden up throughout this whole thing, which is pretty interesting. And then Trump takes a little bit of a lead right here, right, versus Biden. And then the debate happens, and then bam, no more for Biden. And then Kamala gets into the race right about here, and then she starts to take the lead. And she has the lead. And then, of course, and to be frank, I don't believe that these lead changes that they're showing there are this much difference. I don't think many people actually change their mind. I know that they have these polling people, and then they go to these things on CNN or Fox and all these undecideds. But you ask these undecideds who are sitting in those chairs, you ask them like 2 or 3 questions, and then you start to realize they are undecided. They know who they're voting for. They're just saying they're undecided so they can look objectively. Most people, I don't believe, change their vote. Obviously, some people do go out there and get educated and change their vote. But even these undecideds on Fox and CNN, MSNBC, ask them 2 or 3 questions. You see which way they're leaning. They suggest which way they're voting. They're not undecided. So it's funny how people are saying the polls, it looks like the polls that Kamala's getting back in the lead or Trump's getting back in the lead. And they talk about momentum, and this is the way that they're going. I don't believe in any of that. I can talk to my mom no matter what I say. It's not changing her vote. My mom can talk to me no matter what she says. It's not changing my vote. I think this race is already done for. And if you wanted Trump to win, you're welcome. If you wanted Kamala to win, I'm sorry. But it looks like it's a done deal. Now, if I'm wrong, I would love to see a lot of people in the comments stating how bad I was wrong and talk crap to me and burn me. I know a lot of my family members are jumping at the opportunity to tell me that I suck. Again, I'm not saying go Kamala or go Trump because it's not good for business, but I am saying the data shows the race is over.